Hello, it's the ReSett show here. We're coming at you using some assistive technology terms in our fun new iPad we're talking about. I'm Greg Sumner from Northfield Public Schools.
I'm Carl Peter Hammer from Zumbro Education District here in Byron, Minnesota.
And I do assistive technology, occupational therapy in Northfield. Work with mainly teachers, mainly the teachers right now. We're trying to get them started using them with the students and get them comfortable. We have students from down to birth that are teachers that are bringing them into houses, into homes, to up to 21-year-olds from all varieties of things. And our main staple is the speech therapists in our district are using. We have about 15 in our district. What do you do, and how are you using them in your areas there?
Yeah, there's 7 districts here under the Zumbro Education District. All 7 districts have them. All 7 districts speech pathologists are using them. Really, that kind of time with students one-on-one or small group is really set up very well to use the iPad. So I think the speech pathologists are using them very effectively for kind of what their job entails with the short times with small numbers of kids. Most of the other districts have a lot of DCD students, mild moderate students. Those are kind of the two demographics of teachers that are really using them also pretty well for basic reading, basic math skills, trying to bolster those up, and maybe some modeling, some video modeling, some functional skills. Not a whole lot of that happening yet. I think there's a lot of potential still left in using the iPads a lot more inside the classroom. A little bit of experimentation with some LD teachers to kind of start. I'll talk a little bit more about that later with this speak selection function of the iPad.
Let's jump into that. We'll work all those pieces in. I'm having little technical difficulties.
All right, welcome back. Gonna kind of jump right into some of these apps and maybe a few functions of the iPad that I've been exploring with a little bit, trying to get a little bit of the knowledge out there to you folks out there, and hopefully spark some conversation and some questions. First of all, I kind of want to get a few apps out there that help people track apps and find apps for discounted prices and even free a lot of times. And so I have my Find Apps folder here, and we'll tap on that. So there's the 4 that I use pretty regularly with regard to just looking for apps and looking for prices for apps and even reviews. There's a lot of reviews. So the first one over here, App Shopper. Mainly for prices. It tells you when prices are reduced for apps from, say, $1.99 to 99 cents or even free. Same thing with Appalicious, APPOLICIOUS. Good play on words there. And then the last one here, App Tracker. All 3 of those really keep track of app prices really well and when they're lowered. They all have websites that also go well. That you can just Google those names, App Shopper, Appalicious, or App Tracker, and your websites will come up. This last one over here, App Advice, is really more for reviews. They take a topic and they find the apps that have to do with it, and then they shoot reviews on it. And that, again, has a website for it as well, and also the app, and that's App Advice. So if you're looking for places to look, have someone else do the legwork and review and buy the app and tell you if it's good, rather than you wasting your money on that. So check those out. I'm going to put mine back up here for a second. You can look at my face, my beautiful face. This week I've decided to take on the function of iOS 5.0.1. That is the speak selection function. I want to kind of talk about what you can do with that, its functionality, hopefully start sparking some ideas about how we can use it in the classroom, and some questions maybe you can shoot me in the future. So bring the camera back to my iPad now. If you go under settings, oops, let me back it up. Sorry about that reflective light. Let's see what we can do here. Pause, please. I'm going to turn a little like that. Alright, is there still feedback? Of course there is. Alright. What if I just turn my lights out? Wait a second. Alright. Sorry about those light difficulties. So, talking about this speak selection. So basically, as I'm coming in here in the settings, the speak selection is a function where you can highlight text, and then it gives you an option to speak it out loud. And it sounds like a great tool. It's under accessibilities, and we'll check out where it's at. So in general settings here, down at the bottom, we have accessibility. And then that fifth one down, it says speak selection there, and you have the option of on or off. So you can switch it on or off, and then you can do the rate of speech from turtle to really fast.
Can you show a demo of that there, Carl Peter? That's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to turn up my volume really quick so you can hear, because once you switch it, the speak rate...
Speak selection reads selected content.
So it speaks a little bit faster.
Speak selection reads selected content.
A little bit faster, but we don't want that.
Speak selection reads selected content.
There you go. So it reads selected content. Yeah, I'm going to go through some options. And again, there's the on-off button, and that's just under accessibility. So that's where you check it out to turn it on and off. And when you first see it, you really feel like it's going to be universally applicable. Any text I can highlight and read it, and that'll be great. Unfortunately, it's not the case. iBooks down here, there's got to be a lot of copyright issues. So you can't, any book that's in iBooks, you can't really highlight how to read. So first of all, we'll go into Safari. And this is a website that I'm a pretty avid Seattle Sounders soccer fan. So this one will pop up here. And I'll show you how we can highlight any text. This is just random text. This isn't New York Times or anything huge like that. So let's see, we can just take a whole... I'm going to wait for it to load. And we can highlight a word here. And you see, right as it comes up, I'm going to zoom in there. I highlighted that word many. And one of my options right there is speak.
Many.
So we get the word, but then we can also highlight a section of words.
Many, specifically those who follow the global game, the most important place to spend revenue.
And as it's reading, it does have a pause button, so if it's something you don't want to read, you can pause it. It doesn't have any highlight function with regard to what word it's reading, but anything on the internet, it's pretty nice that you can have it read. You can even do the captions of a picture. Oops. Hold on 1 second. Let's get this up here.
Adrian Hanover is both a GM and a minority.
So you can do the captions, and then I don't think links really work, obviously, because you're going to go somewhere for links. So online, you can work it there. So that's a good tool. If if we're using some online material, we can have that read to us.
Very
also
cool.
Do pages documents. I have that on here, so we can get a pages document going, and we can highlight text. Of course, we want it to select. And then again, we have that speak function right there. Press it.
Usually, I can voice unwanted.
And keep going again, as much as you want to select or as little as you want to select. So, Word documents it's good in. PDFs, it's said to work in PDFs, but it really has to do with how the PDF is created. And so I would say that at this point, it's for all intents and purposes pretty useless with PDFs and reading the text in PDFs.
What do you call someone who has helped provide support for a healthier life?
Whoop, just playing around over here. This is pretty fun.
No worries, yeah, that's fine. It does also read your emails, and so that's all right. And so those are kind of the three main functions of that speak selection. Hopefully, we can keep encouraging Apple and encouraging app developers to create more of these apps that read text, because I think that's, especially as we start getting into LD areas, we really have a lot of students struggle with reading, and that would help. These mobile devices reading things to them would really help. Read to Go, READ, no space, the number 2 GO is Bookshare's app, and that really is the premier and I think the only book read out loud, text to speak, but with books. And so check that one out. It's $19.99. If you have a student who's struggling and maybe even qualifies for Bookshare, you can use that app for them to read text. that's what I have with that really text-to-speech function on the iPad. There are apps like SpeakPad, all one word, SpeakPad. That's something you can type in text, and then it'll speak it out loud. You can copy and paste, import from like Pages documents or something else, and so you can have it spoken there. That's not really viable for in the classroom. If a student needs a whole document read, you can't really copy and paste all around. So.
Can I pause you there a sec, Carl Peter? I've been using the Speak Test. I haven't Speak Text as much on my computer. I've been using VoiceOver, and I'm just wondering if there's any difference. If maybe what I'll do is I'll show it real quick, but I'm just curious if there's an advantage over one or the other. I don't know. I've been using VoiceOver, and it's a little rougher. But I don't know if it would pick up. Maybe, I guess I have my iPad turned on. Let me see if I can get you to see it here. Okay. I'm just going to show it real quick, how to turn on VoiceOver. Do you think there's any advantage to it or to doing VoiceOver?
I think the advantage to the speech selection is that you have a little bit more control over what you select.
Right.
VoiceOver is really just reading everything. You can't stop it in places and select just specific. A lot of times, it's more difficult, at least, to select specific text and passages to read. It's just reading everything, and so I think that would be my advantage. Even though VoiceOver reads more things, it reads everything that's on the screen. So, yeah.
Let me just show it real quick, just so people see it, and then I'll. What I do is I set up a mine, so I just triple click the bottom, and then it shows up, so it's on. Where am I at here? VoiceOver. So I have on the options here, on the general, and then I go into the triple click and I select VoiceOver. You can choose it to do one of these options for triple click, which is kind of nice, and I chose VoiceOver. And so what I've been doing is I have this, so in one of my groups we tell jokes, and what I've been trying to get the kids to do, it'll push a step-by-step a lot of times, it'll say the joke, but now what I'm trying to do is have them use this joke book here. Let me just show you what I do before I say it here. Look up the jokes. Okay, so say we got this knock-knock jokes here. So ideally the student could look at these jokes and then read them, just like if somebody would read a joke book. They'd have their joke book there and they could look at them. Well, they can't read it, but if they had headphones on and they turn on VoiceOver, they could just triple click. Oops.
Cancel button.
And so now I touch here.
Knock knock.
And then VoiceOver starts working.
Who's there? Annie.
So when I touch those text, it just reads it immediately.
Who?
So I'm trying to say I'm going to turn off VoiceOver now.
VoiceOver off.
So I guess that's one angle where maybe VoiceOver, right? Because here VoiceOver works, but I do like what is it? Speak text? Is that what you called it?
Speak selection.
Speak selection. I like that you can choose what you want it read, as where this is a much more, like you said, rough as to what's being selected. But I did like that feature, just leaving it on my triple click for home. That's one fun way I've been using it. And we've got 2 minutes here, Carl Peter. So, any last minute thoughts while we got the? Let me hit pause here. 1 second. All right. Well, Carl Peter, have a great holiday break, and look forward to talking to you afterwards. This was good to learn a few more things about how to use it.
Yeah, we're trying to get the information out there. You have a happy holiday too, Greg, and send your questions to either Greg or I if you have specific students, specific tasks, specific things you're trying to tackle, and get the iPad really to be used a little bit more. Please send us questions. We'd love to hear from you guys, or comments, or feedback.
Sounds good. All right. Take care.
See you later, Greg.